Hello guys, so in this video I'm going to walk you through the exact lead generation automations we set up for roofing companies, and then how you can set it up for your company too. So this video is going to be a long one, so you can watch it at 1.5x speed, and then later on you can come in and rewatch it for the step-by-step implementation. But by the end of the video, you'll know the exact systems, right? You'll know the exact systems we use, and then how we implement them in GHL, and then how you can set them up for your company. Now, before we jump into the video, I want to show you the lead journey, right? From when a lead first comes in, and then where each of these automations sits inside the journey, so that this whole thing will make sense to you. So now let's start from when the lead comes in. Let's say they come in from, you run Facebook ads, you run Instagram ads, and then they come in through Meta ads, or maybe Google search, right? Or maybe SEO or any other form of lead gen you use. Okay, and they come into contact with your website. Now, ideally, on websites, right, we try to make sure that the company we are working with has a lead magnet, so that we can convert more of the leads that come onto the in contact with the website. Otherwise, yeah, a lot of the leads will just come and then they wouldn't be able to get or you wouldn't be able to get their contact details, right? So we try as much as possible to get them to offer something at least for free, so that we can get more leads in. Now, so once they get in contact with your website, they fill out an inspection form, right? So an inspection form. So now let's look at something, an example. So inspection, and this is also, now everything here is done in GHL, just so that you can note everything here is done in GHL. So first name, last name, email, phone. Now one cool thing GHL also does is you can search for address, so that it makes it easier. Instead of the lead trying to fill out their address manually, you can they can search for their address, right? So let me search. Let's say you live in California. Let's say California Plaza, Omaha, right? You can see everything. Everything is populated over here, right? So California, that's postal code and everything. Okay, so and then they fill out this whole thing. So basically, they fill out this whole thing. Now, after that happens, the first automation comes in, right? So the lead intake automation kicks in, and then based on their answer, they are given a score between 1 star and then 5 star. So essentially, what happens here is that these two automations, the star scoring automation, which by the way is a bit complicated, but I'll walk you through it step by step so you can implement it for your company. So this star scoring automation, based on their answer, they are given a score between 1 and 5 star. So five. So the best leads we always want is 5 star leads, 4 star leads, 3 star, and then in that order. So now, if you know your best sales rep, right, which you should know by the way, so normally what we do is we set up Lucas Studio reporting dashboards for using make.com automations, right, for our clients, so they can see the metrics for each of their sales rep, not only sales rep, but also each of their should I say each of their lead gen sources, so Facebook ads, Google ads, to know which of their ads perform better and which platform works best for them. So you should have that set up, by the way. So I'll probably talk about how to create reporting dashboards using make.com and then Lucas Studio in a further video. So now if you should know your best sales rep, so that you can assign the 5 star leads and then 4 star leads to them, so that they can close them effectively. But let's say you don't know your sales rep, right? Then all the sales rep have access to the lead, and then they are all notified, right? All of them are notified. Then this is where the claim system comes in. Now, this whole claim system deserves a full video on its own, because it's too, complicated, right? So I didn't want to add it to this automation or in this video, so that this video will be, I don't know, 2 hours, 2 hours long. So, but then I'll probably have another video explaining, or make another video explain the whole claim system and how you can do that. So this to make sure that you have the best speed to lead ratio, right? I think there's this stat that once you call your lead under 5 minutes, you are 21 times more likely to convert the lead or something. Yeah. So that's that. Now, after that, after this whole claim system, and then the lead is assigned, I think we should have put this here, right? Right. So if they are a hot lead, right? If they are a hot lead, then the hot lead automation. So the hot lead is between 4 star and 5 star. Then the hot lead automation comes in, where it's automatically or it's frequently reminds the sales rep assigned to the lead to try and get an inspection booked as soon as possible, right? Now, so the first sales rep to claim that it isn't assigned. So that's the claim system. We continue here. We are here. So the first sales rep is then sign the lead and then calls them to book the inspection. Now, if they book an inspection, this inspection book automation is basically reminders, right? It comes in and then everything is worked out. If they don't book the inspection, the sales rep is then reminded to follow up at regular intervals for 3 days, for the first 3 days. Then if they still don't book the automation, then they are added to our newsletter and then the long-term nurture sequence comes in. But then if they book, then inspection automation comes in and then we solve their problem. Cool. Now, now that we have the journey of what happens, let's start with the first automation when they fill out the form, right? When they fill out the form, right? So, new lead intake form. Let's look at what happens here. So let's look at what happens here. So you can see that there are multiple triggers, but then you add a new trigger, just click this add new trigger, choose whatever trigger you want. But for this video, you're using form submitted, right? So now the form submitted is, you can see in the inspection form. And then what happens first, the first action we do is create a contact, right? So we map these fields, the first name, last name, email, contact, phone. Now, one thing you have to note that this create contact also updates the contact if, right, if they already exist, right? If the contact exists, it updates the contact. This now, after this, we create an opportunity inside the sales pipeline. Now, I should probably have shown you the pipeline before, but I think this is the best opportunity to show you that this pipeline, the sales pipeline, contains the stages. Now, how to create a pipeline? You just go to this pipeline. Go to, you can see the opportunities over here. Go to pipeline, create a new pipeline, and then you can add the stages, right? But then let's come back. So we can see the new lead in, right? So this is where the first this what happens. So you can see create opportunity, which pipeline they select sales, the sales pipeline says new lead status open, opportunity name, contact first name, right? That's what we did. Now contacted, so you can see we have contacted stage, inspection booked, inspection completed, estimated estimate pending, estimate sent, estimate approved and signed, job scheduled, job in progress, job completed, one plus, right? Nature, and then yeah, I think nature is the last step. Great. So here we go. So and then once that happens, we add a tag awaiting claim. Yes, right. Now, after, you might be asking yourself, what does this RF means? RF it basically means roofing, right? So yeah, roofing. So once you add a tag awaiting claim, you add an if or else stage, right? So you can see add new step if or else stage, right? This if or else stage. Now, what happens? What do you do? So now you choose, right? So you add a branch, new branch, and then you do this. If workflow trigger is form submitted, right? And then the medium contains Google, right? So first we are trying to segment them. Why? Okay, so I have to explain why this if or else. We are trying to segment them so that we know which source, which lead is coming from, right? So that we can, basically with the tracking and all, I mentioned that we track all the leads and all the metrics so that we can make the best decisions with our clients, right? So that's what happens over here. So workflow trigger is form submitted, we track. So the trigger is Facebook lead ad, workflow trigger is form submitted, workflow trigger is customer reply, workflow trigger is call status. All those workflow triggers, if you can remember, we have over here. So we make sure that we track each of the you know or each of the sources that the lead is coming through. Now you can see this, the tag we add source Google search. So we add all the various tags, meta lead source, SEO, source, Google My Business, source, source phone. Perfect. Now all of these, now you can see that this go to step. So this go to step basically tells the automation that we want it to go to this step over here. So all of this from here, everything goes here. Why this mass operation? So now let me explain. So we want that when a lead comes through, right, and then our lead intake takes them in, initially they all should have what's the name? They all should have um a value of 0, right? So like their rating should be 0, right? So they all should have a value of 0. So you select field, star rating, you add, use the operator add, right? You can see multiple operators. Use the operator add and then value 0. Great. Now after that, it is added to the second automation we'll talk about. This this automation as it's the other workflow, the second workflow we'll talk about. And then there's an internal notification, basically telling all the sales rep, right, that a new lead is in. And then yeah, basically telling the sales rep that a new lead is in. Perfect. Now we've we are here now, right? So they fill out the inspection form. We are done with this, right? So we are done with this lead intake automation. Now it sends them to do the star scoring automation. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this star scoring automation is a bit complicated, right? A bit complicated, but then I'll take my time in it. If you understand it, you can build it out easily. So there's no trigger for this workflow because the other workflow already adds it to this workflow. Now we just have another mass operation and then it adds a value of 0 just in case, I don't know, we are just ensuring, right? Just in case Elite doesn't, the previous workflow doesn't add. But you don't really need to add this over here again, but then we just do just in case. Okay, you add an if or else stage, right? As I said earlier, if or else, just add an action. If or else, just search for it. If you can see it, if or else. Cool. Now the first if or else we are adding based on, if you can remember in this inspection form, right? We had estimated job value bracket where they choose less than 500, 500 to 1,000, 1,999, 2,000 to 4,999, 5,000 to 9,900, and then greater than 10,000, right? And then, so once they choose, between any of these, the star rating then assigns them a score, right? So less than, so first we segmented before. You see less than 500, 5,000 to, you know, this. So how do you get this? So first, let me just try and add a new branch. Let's look for contact details, custom fields, custom fields. So it's a custom field. That's why it's over here. So estimated job bracket, we can find it over here, right? Estimated job bracket. So I'm not going to add anyone. So that's where you can find it. I just wanted to show you, but I'm not going to add anyone. Cancel. Great. So once we finish segmenting it, what happens? At the less than 500 branch, we add a mass operation just like we did before. 0 still because less than $500. Yeah, we add 0. Between 500 and 1,999, we add this, a value of 10. Now you might be thinking, oh, I thought we were doing 1 to 5 star, right? But then what you want to do is we want to assign max basically over 100 for each of the question field, right? So that when we get to the end of this workflow, it will calculate and see which range it is. If it is 80 plus, then it assigns a 5 star. It's between 70, all the stuff you'll find out when we get there. So, right, as if it is if it's between 2004, 2,999, 20. If it's between 5,000 and then 9,999, there's what all that 80, 80, right? Yeah, they have the highest score. If it's over 10,000 plus, they have 45 points. Right. Now, by job type, the same thing if or else, and then you search for the custom field you added for the inspection form, and then we do the same thing. We segment it again, and then if they choose repair, they get then a value of 10. If they choose replacement, get a value of 25. If they choose emergency tab, they get a value of 15. If they choose gutters, they get a value of what? 10. Right. Now you can see all these go-to steps. I remember I explained in the previous workflow. This go-to step basically tells the automation that we want everything to go here, right? So yes, add it. Yes, let's add something here. Yes, add it. Search. Go to. Go to. You can see it over here. You click on it and then you drag it to where you want the next step to be, right? So they all go to agency. If the agency is today, they choose today, they have a value of 20. If they choose this week, they have a value of 10. If they choose this month, they have a value of 5. And if, yeah, none. And then the same thing applies. Insurance claim, yes, they have a value of what? 15. Pending, they have a value of what? 15. No idea, they have a value of what? 5. And then no, they have a value of 0. You didn't own the house, right? They have a value of 0. So let's do by get to homeowner status, right? So this one was insurance claim, right? So this one was if they don't have insurance. Sorry. Now by homeowners, if they own the house, then if they don't own the house, 0. If the homeowner status is unknown, basically they own the house, 0. Cool. Now this step is very important because this is where I was talking about where you convert all the marks you have right now to stars. Right. You have to note this is also an if or else. This is also an if or else action you add, right? Click on it, condition, you click on it, you add your condition, right? Just adjusting the microphone. Okay, so you add and then you select your custom field. You remember we updated the field when you look at yeah, let me go back here. You see when you look here, we updated this field, the star rating too. So that's the custom field you look for when you come to this convert when it comes here, this if or else. So star rating is now what you do here. So let me try and add a new branch so that I can show you. So let's search for star rating 2. Star rating. Let's just search for it. You can search for it. Star rating 2. So now you can see it's greater than, you can see equals to, it's not equal to, greater than, or equals to, less than, or equal to, it's not empty. It's empty. So you choose basically, I'm not going to add this, so I'm not going to save it. So you choose basically which one. So now let's use it's less than or equal to what? 19. You can remember 0 to 19, right? 0 to 20 to 39. We give them so we segment it 20 to 39. We just want to segment it first before we now give them the start. 40 to 59, 60 to 79, 80 plus. Price, so 80 plus is definitely going to be five star. Right. So here, if 0 to 19, we give them a star rating of 1. 20 to 39, we give them a star rating of 2. 40 to 59, star rating of 3. 60 to 79, star rating of 4. And then 80 plus, star rating of 5. Good. Now, what happens? Because we mentioned, so let me go back here. So we are done with here. And then that's if you had a leaderboard or if you look at studio reporting board, you would know your best sales rep, and then yeah, you would know you would you would assign the best leads to them. But let's say you don't. So now what's supposed to happen? The claim system is supposed to come in after this automation, right? After this, yeah, it's going to add to this the workflow. So the workflow, after we add up to the 5 star, right? Then we select between 3 star, 4 star, and 5 star, and then add them to the hot lead workflow, right? To the hot lead workflow, and then we update the opportunity with the star rating. The star rating we have finally given them here. Cool. Now let's go to the third one. Now, as I said earlier, normally after this, the claim system is supposed to come in, then assign, then notify the sales rep, and then they can go and then they claim the lead. But this automation, I think, would be a video on its own. So maybe subsequent video we can create that. But for now, let's assume a sales rep claim the lead, and let's assume they are hot lead. This is where the hot lead automation comes in, right? So the hot lead accelerator, what happens? Cool. So if this one doesn't also have a trigger, because if you can remember, the previous workflow was adding it to this workflow. So star rating. If right, the star rating is greater than or equal to 4, so we are basically using only 4 and 5. Then if it's yes, then the star we wait. If it's no, it's less than 4, then they are not a hot lead. So we end it here, right? If it's yes, then we wait. We wait for what? 2 hours. So we wait. After the lead is assigned to the sales rep over here. After the lead is assigned, right? They call the lead. You see, assign lead, then assign the lead, and then calls them to book the inspection. So they call them to get the inspection booked real quick. So now we wait here, and if after 2 hours, if the appointment is empty, then they've not booked, right? So we inform the sales rep again to call them and stuff, right? But then if they've booked an appointment, then as you can see here, the inspection book automation kicks in. But if they don't, then all these reminders, right? And it waits for what? Another 1 hour. If the appointment is still empty, this time we send an email to the what? To the contact, the contact, basically reminding them, telling them we have spots for them. And that's what happens, right? We keep on, you know, reminding them until they book an appointment. Cool. Now, an inspection, right? Now we are here, right? So we are almost done with this video. So yeah. So an inspection is booked, right? So let's look at the inspection booked automation. So here we have an inspection booked. And then by the way, if you think this is too complicated and then you need help setting it up for your company, you can. I'll leave my Instagram link, down below, so you can DM me and then we can take it from there, or we can help you set it up for your company, right? So let's look at the inspection booking, right? Event type normal. To add an appointment status, if they was they book an appointment, then this we update the opportunity to what, which stage, to inspection book. Here you can see inspection book, right? So the lead will now come over here. Cool. Now after the inspection book, right, we add the tag inspection book, right? Update the contact field, right? So this we update this because we want to add the time they booked the inspection, right? Or the time they booked the inspection for, so that we keep it in our CRM. Confirmation SMS, email. You wait. We wait 1 day before or 24 hours before. We send them an SMS. We wait. What's the name? It should be 2 hours before, right? Wait 2 hours before. Wait 2 hours before, and then we send them this SMS just to make sure that they are reminded. We also give them an option to cancel, right? So let me check this out again. We give them an option to cancel, right? So let's see 24 appointment or yes to confirm or ask to reschedule. So they can ask us and then we can reschedule. Or I think here we have a link where they can yeah, you have to, yeah, they reply. But I think other automations we added a link for, yeah, rescheduling, so that they can just quickly click it and then have their schedule, right? Okay, so now we are done with this inspection book. We are done with this too. Now let's say they don't book, right? What happens long term nurture? Let's look at this uh, nature sequence. Now the reason why we have this um, 7 day for only the 3-star ratings is because we have a different long-term nature sequence for the 1-star and the 2-star, because for them they are virtually not, even though we still reach out, our sales reps still reach out. If the appointment time is still empty, we still reach out, but then we just send them SMSs to and then emails to you know remind them, right? Yeah, so that we don't waste much time on people who just come in just see. One thing also I've seen here is we added a goal. So when the contact tag is added, RF inspection booked, it means they are removed from this workflow, right? Right. So that is what happens. So yeah, I think that is, yeah. So we are here, we are done with this. So as you can see in this video, we covered the 5 main automations we use for lead gen in roofing companies we work with. So we went through the lead intake workflow automation, we went through the star scoring automation, we went through the hot lead automation, we went through the inspection book automation, we went through the long-term nature. So I'm going to be ending the video here. And then if you need help, as I said earlier, if you need help setting this up for your company, right, I'll leave my Instagram link down below so that you can DM me so that we can help you in whatever way we can to help you set up this automations for your company. That's if you're interested in that. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful and then you guys had some information or something valuable from it. And see you in the next one.